ibedi kan ya da Nyankopon wase. So wabana possible. Na bosumi ya idisi wase yedi besua about your mental health now. By His grace, about to an end. In some way, I'm going to address that we have learned a lot. Now, better Dr. Bonnie has seen. Remember, that year was saying, and I'm saying, I'm never sure a name. Dr. Nami show no busia. Young Chahono, Yabema, Felicia, a patrol baby or one. So that's me, I'm an inside a patrol. Don't for a dream again, Shania Mensa. Now I'm done, I say, when a bumble, Jessica, now for Dr. Bonnie, Shania Mensa, send your dream ideas to the woman on one Casamidi marketing. I'm sorry, I said, Bonifacio Sumayan, Tina Fisher soon.
Tam Chamomia Mompay. Yada was seeing young couple. Yada wa papa power, she supane bambo kesia, o dear boy. Yada was Sabra, a conina Bonivia scene. Una mondo no mubru who saw here, so one more Bonibia and Kaye. The chance so cranny saw me a bishim, said Ma, ye baby chill was some a dear bobla, a sefata Bonivia scene. As Danka Udinda. Akwanya sonko a wo de amaye na dan ni dan nyina wo na mo adonu mobulu hu so ekyerɛkyerɛ na wo kakaye na wo tretene yenye aseda yeyi entontom fa Yesu sonka udin da yada wase ne ye de yembone ahoro oba wanimu yesrese hu yemobɔ na fa yemfom ne yemra to nyina kyɛ boni bia ayaye wani nti amanyume yedwumadie yenso wani yesrɛ se hu yemobɔ na fa ne nyina kyɛ yede yenyina kra ne nipadua hye wunyame wonsa yeso semre na so bia ni wura fi ne homa nkonkron kaka no ne yenyina mfodom obodo metie wasam ne yemfa nyemobla esefata woboni wiase blemu yede wokasamafo audi ani Pastor Bonnie hye wonsa Dr. Bonnie hye wonsa yesra unimbie ni nyansa fi wunyame yesra sefa ne so na kasa kire ye bia obekire ye bia manya de beboa ye wo yenipadua mu yasetena mu na yenso yetimi anyi ache yesra se dum na boa no na hye ne de ma nkonkon fa ne mu enkyerɛkyerɛ ye na bibia kwawie a yede aseda ayeye ne nkamfo be ma udin yeda wase ewo de wayama ye nyina yesra se koso a ne di wako anim ne ye nyina so yentie wasam yesrewe ne adumpi odoba Yesu Kristo di nti amen.
Amen, amen. Maflisha, nyame unshaw. Eda wase, sodin parabodi ejumedi yenim. Ene, Mom say 4 weeks I did see for your woman ministry mental health series with Dr. Bonnie, no, and then your last session. And it's in Dr. the two was say, and the only different topic, but I'm a meneno obebi no, Doma flow no, I question and answers. And it's no, said him they can get a message, no. Meaning say, yeah, but no, you fire pen your paper, yeah, your question ready. The question will be no, Doctor, ever try say, will be here, no, am I? It doesn't have to be the topics I hear, anything related to mental health, no, since he's the expert, no, he can, about me, no, am I? And it's, a little housekeeping. So in case you say what question be, not so you don't feel comfortable sharing, you can always text it to me. You can send direct message to Dr. Bonnie, and I say, I send it to Obia, and I think that the person will read it without say molding. So my mom take advantage of this because, like I said, no, it's cost a lot. Say, one kasa compare any more for mental health. It's a lot of money, and it's always said the doctor kind. Prevention is better than cure, and the more we know, the more we can prevent, and also we can help ourselves. And so more engaging in question. I be on the what didn't say no question and answer. Doctor, me patrol so you ready? Me jafla hamau. Say we be question that I will let you know. But
the vast we need to know. Thank you so much. Number Sister Mercy, and Assistant Ladies. Thank you so much for inviting me. Mama, thank you for praying for me. So I will say I've had a great time actually with this work. Every time, sometimes you have time to drink combo. But having the opportunity to share, I please you to share it with somebody, and also you take good care of yourself. And then we prepare for when two things came to mind. So whilst I wait for a question to come in, I can present on mood disorders and also talk about resiliency. I used to have a picture that best describes resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back. To say, oh, rubber band, what training, a stretching, what in physics we call it stress. You stress that rubber band, you release it, it comes back to its original size, and it doesn't lose its elasticity. You can stretch it again, it will come back to its original size and shape, and it doesn't lose its elasticity. And that is what resiliency does. Man born of the woman, over the those stressful things, your loved ones will pass on. You will not get a promotion that you were looking for. For no reason, your kids are going to get sick. For no reason, somebody will break up with you. For no reason, your brain will gossip against you, and it all can impact heavily on your mental health. But when you practice this resiliency as a resilient activity, you have a strong chance of returning to your goal. And all these resilience activities are also very good as a preventative measure to prevent mental disorders, and as a good way to keep you mentally sound. What are some of the resilience activities am I referring to? There are things we do every day. None of these things are strange. I remember why you are doing that. I know for the boys or the men every Sunday as a share football. It's a resiliency activity. It's time for socialization. It's time for exercise. It's really good for their mental health. This year, the coalition, women's ministry, you are sharing ideas, you are praying together, you are singing. And I missed my singing, ladies, but you deprived me of my singing. After I was teaming together with the movies and the meeting. All those activities, and none of you are sharing or pass on, I say keep a song in your heart. It's only when I grew old and I knew that music is also medicine. It brings you, it grounds you. Maybe to talk. Now you don't have the words to say. You just can sing it out. One of my favorite one of my favorite songs, to say I'm a but to show be a DJ I will get all kind of between. In Colorado, my girls, they used to like this movie called I just got blank on the name of this movie. Frozen. Let it go. Because I fear to do for because I'll come to the let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Why? I have a slide that I prepared. I'm going to share in the screen since now I just have two slides in the mental. If I can only find the screen. Okay, let's see what this will show. Pacho, maybe if there's a question, just let me just integrate and I will stop and go straight into the slides like that. No, let me just, I'll talk about bipolar, but let me go to some of these resiliency activities. It's the same. Okay. Or let me go, I think I should go back to bipolar disorders. These are mood disorders. There's a difference between neurology and psychiatry. But one of the key differences with neurology is to do with your brain, spinal cord issues, usually dysfunctional issues, and psychiatry focus on behavior and mood disorders. And one of the most, I would say, common form of mental health disorder is the mood disorders. And within the mood disorder is bipolar disorder. I'm sure say multi-bipolar, multi-mania, multi-hypomania. And usually, or with bipolar, you have you oscillate that, so you go between periods of depression, where you have low mood, when there is a low mood and associated depressive symptoms, and then there is a period of hypomania as a mania. I describe mania as an elevated mood. Because in mania, and I said, you just feel, you feel some alcoholic mania when you feel like you are supernatural, you are over excited, you have some extra gifts that nobody has. People go through this period, and depending on the type and severity and how often you get the manic symptoms, that's actually determines the type of bipolar you have. There's several, the bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and the cyclothermic, a whole lot. I think there are 4 or 5 types of bipolar. Usually the mania pattern is how things are bad. This is when people are making excuse of people to have extramarital affairs, but usually this is around that time they have extramarital affairs, and it's not an excuse. You take poor decisions, there is poor judgment, and there is a risk of you getting injured yourself. Let me put it this way: I have a friend who actually in the pastor, and I know he mentioned to me he's had some other issues, but one of the issues he mentioned that he was bipolar. And last year, he started making some really poor choices and decisions. For me, I could observe that he was in a hypomanic state. I asked him to seek help. But usually when people have mental health disorders, they do not feel there's something wrong with them, they will not seek help. And that is why we need to talk about this. See, the guy did not seek help, he kept making poor choices after poor choices. Even wasted his dream home, which was valued about $3 million for something about $600,000 less. He nearly lost his job. He ended up in a key psychiatry because he was supernatural, what we call Canadian Army restricted area, and your children were call hospital. He started dating somebody that he barely knew. Like his life was, he was not talking to his wife, he was fighting his wife, and overall, that the kids were scared of him. Long story short, he's recovered after hospitalization. And if I tell you, now he's in a kind of a depressive mode because he has signed a contract to sign his house. So he's now had to sell his house, he's doing it. And he's so depressed about it. And go through how he go through law. He's looking for it to see a psychiatrist. He has to wait. He's seen a psychiatrist, but to get therapy on the psychiatric services, he has to wait for 6 months. The good thing is, his wife was so bent on leaving him, and that the understanding, the wife is a stupid top manager with him, but the wife spent some time with him and explained what was going on with her dear husband. She now understands the husband and has decided to stay because he was on the verge of signing divorce for the husband. He has his husband back, but the things that this guy did cannot be reversed. We cried together about it, we prayed together. But this is the true cause of bipolar disorder. Most people also who have bipolar disorder, usually because of the symptoms, self-medicate. They don't like feeling so low. They enjoy being hypomanic. It's not that alcoholic they see who is bipolar disorder. They call a long list of people with bipolar disorder. People very common, Bones, Michael Jackson, just mean that they have problems to sleep. These are things that usually interest in technology and how it comes about. And if you manage some of these things well, you do not, the chances of you getting into one of your episodes where you have the symptoms shown is less. You have to manage your stress. That's why we spend a whole week talking about stress. You have to manage your sleep. That's why you spend time talking about sleep. All those things makes sense. There's a genetic component to it, which I'm sure somebody will bring up today about genetics. Because sometimes we not just hormonal imbalance and neurotransmitter imbalance. There's also genetic component to our mental. Form stress plays a role, but you can also inherit things that you did not ask for. You've been bequeathed with certain disorders. Usually when you are bequeathed with it, it is all you do, the stress you keep around you, the substances you use can exacerbate your symptoms or can make your symptoms worse. He was recreationally using cannabis, recreational. He's a British Colombian, they bake it, they candy it, they do anything with it. Your kids can get easily exposed to marijuana products or CBD or whatever they want to buy. I've had several conversations with my kids about how they share snacks at school or even candies, because candies are harmless, but it's just gummies. There's gummies all over the place. And even in the Christendom, we don't all agree on we don't do both PEO and using cannabis products. SDA PEO and also it's you cannot trust that your SDA crazy. I'm guaranteed I'm not going to be exposed to this. So it is having conversations, it is educating your kids. I know Women's Ministry, I'm not calling for another invitation, but we need to also spend some time focused on the mental health of our kids, because now for adolescents, suicide is a second leading cause of death for adolescents. For people aged from around 14, I think they call all the way to 24, suicide is the second leading cause of death. It is not the cancers, there's no suicide. For adults, I think it's a 10th or 9th leading cause of death. Hental, around 10, plus or minus 1 leading cause of death for adults. Okay, so we have to do something about it, and that's what I'm passionate about. And I know in the church community, there are a lot of people who actually work in this profession, who know a thing or two. I think it was a Gabby or somebody was asking me, one called African, over African, who hear you, who understand you, who direct you to. Please talk to somebody. I know there are tons of nurses in the church who can direct you to Jesus. Because when you are sick, you don't have the presence of mind to find where to find help. I wish I can talk a little bit about suicide, because suicide is not a disorder, it's a condition, and usually outcomes any symptom of depression. About 90% of people who die by suicide have a mental health condition. So with this, let me look at my last slide. I'm sure most of these slides I have gone through over and over. Exercise makes a huge difference for mood disorders. Exercise. Almost every mental health condition I've talked about exercise. Makes a huge difference. Having good sleep hygiene and good sleep makes a huge difference. One of the first signs and symptoms of actually knowing the lack of people feel they don't have to sleep, they don't need to sleep. and they are high function. Most people bipolar are very high function. Healthy relationship, I don't know why I wrote that. By healthy relationships, you can have relationship that is not healthy. That is not good. The emphasis is on the healthy relationship. I don't know what to do with as far as that constantly giving you attitude and trouble. That one is for another discussion. And then we will be expecting marriage, maybe it's for experts of the more. Having a heart of gratitude. Having a heart of gratitude. Volunteering, helping people, being altruistic makes a huge difference. I cannot overemphasize on music. And always we start these meetings with music. Sexual intimacy is also known to help. Our spirituality, forgiveness, meditation, trust in God. Let's come out time to relax. And I think I've shared before, I feel, so laughter is medicine. It's true, laughter is medicine. Google it and find out. And if you doubt it, read a book called Anatomy of an Illness. It's written by Norman Cousins. The Cousins is spelled Cussans. And he's a journalist who was given 6 months to leave. And his friends, I don't want to spoil it for him, but he locked himself to give help. Okay, let's plan, let's manage our time. Most of these things are stress induced and it can also mitigate stress. So with that, and these are the resilience activities you can be doing often. Make sure you have a good daily life every day. I'm sure you guys have heard of bad jokes. My little girl, Manava, radio, and Abba has a name for her. And she always have some serious bad jokes. Besides some defining bad jokes. She said, these are the jokes that I know is not funny, but I laugh to make you feel good. And I'm saying, can I put it in the dictionary? I said, yes, because I'm very smart. She's so full of it. And she said, she cuts me up every time. Yeah. So with that, I'll stop sharing, and I'm sure ladies will get a question for me. Let's go.
Okay, thank you very much. So I got a feedback, not echo. There was echo, and it was hard for people to hear.
Oh, to hear.
I don't know if
it is at my house. So I think I'll change and go to Bayenkasa. I think they use my cell phone. Is it better or is still the same?
I think it's much better.
Okay. Please draw my attention if it's still not working.
Okay. Okay, so whilst people are gathering their thoughts now, so thank you for this new presentation. And so my question goes back to last week, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That I think severe depression, you talked about some of the cause, and it's hereditary, like you're born with it, right? Okay, so let's say you are born with it. That's not anything that it's not your wish or something that you can. So even though you're born with it, is there things that you can do? And also all these preventive measures, no? Well, yeah. Can it still help? And I say, even though you're born with it, like you have the gene, and I say you need to know whatever it is. No, it's easily to get it triggered. Not what fall into depression. I say, so we'll take care of yourself. You deal with all these preventative measures. Now you can live a normal life and not fall into depression. Is it possible?
Yes, thank you. And please, if you can't hear me, let me know why. Just let me know. But yes, you can be born with it and have a very good life without. So that is why you have to take good care of yourself. Not change your answer before you take good care of yourself. So from studies we've done on monozygote twins, if you are born, you can't be born with the gene for, let's say, schizophrenia. But it will not get expressed if you have a good environment and do certain things. And to use certain substances. Let me give you this example. I attended a boys' school in Ghana. Okay, throughout I was in Legon, I was in the boys' school. From Form 1 and then to university. I might just I might give them people, and I'm in once. How my need a case in story was when I was in UK. There was a very rich man that took care of his son. The son was in first year university at University of Surrey. Decided to go for a party and try weed for the first time. This boy never became normal again. From the party, they rushed him to ED. They brought him to my unit, and he started experiencing the kind of psychosis and as a psychotic presentation when you lack reality. His delusion was that if he signs anything, he writes anything on paper, the devil is going to use it against him. And one of the memories I would like to share with mothers is this. On her mom's birthday, this is the only boy you knew, younger friend. The mom's birthday, the mom came to visit the boy. This boy wanted to sign a card, a birthday card. All the treatment team were rooting for him, giving his message. If he's able to sign the card, that means he's well, he can go home. For about 6 hours, this boy could not sign the birthday card for his mom. And you could see the mom crying, this boy crying. Mom, I really love you, but I cannot sign this card. The devil will use it against you. This is one day. So I have educated my kids. This is a little unconscious. Let's have protective meal time, because this conversation is you have to share it with your kids. You don't know what you're giving them. All of us are living a very stressful world. Not everybody who uses substances will be okay. And mental illness is one of the things. I mean, you said, the more you use substances, it brings your symptoms really up really quickly. 20, yes, maybe it's going back to your question. You can be born with a gene. Some people even go for genetic testing, whether you have the gene. Your genes really are in, and they will never find all the genes. I know for schizophrenia, they've associated with a certain gene. We have not found the depression gene yet. We have not found the anxiety gene yet. We have not found the bipolar gene yet. But we know when it runs in the family, kind of runs in the family. Suicide, if you have a family history of suicide, your risk of suicide is very high. But that said, that is why you have to take protective, preventative measures to take care of yourself. Do the things that will promote resilience. Watch the stress you take, because if you know that stress caused your mom depression or caused your mom, your grandparents depression, you'll be careful. Certain jobs you choose. I have declined jobs because of what I know it can do to my body. I was sharing the other day. In the school in the USA, I got a really good job for Florida. But my friend area, the stress to cause to my children. Because if you have teens, moving is not easy. Think about all those things. There are things that we take for granted. Sometimes choose your job not just based on you. Also think about your children, the impact you have on your children, the impact you have on your spouses before you make those moves. Because you will get the money, you will enjoy your money, but you something gotta kill. Okay, let me talk about even sleep. You know, sleep, and I'm not making it up. Please go and check. WHO has listed working at night as a carcinogen. I'm not making up when I'm not making sleep. An old man called me. I've just been fortunate. I have a lot of old friends. and they giving me a lot of good advice. We were working one night, and he called me and said, Kofi, make sure you don't spend the, they give you extra pay for working at night. He says, make sure you don't spend all that money. I said, why? And I say, you must use that to buy your medication when you're old. Unlike what I'm talking about. Later on, I realized that people who work at night over extended period of time, increases your risk of cancers, of autoimmune disorders, and other conditions. I'm not making anything I'm saying. If you don't doubt it, because the WHO will check it. Read and you find out what I'm talking about. I can post resources. Go to this neurologist has done TED Talks on it. I return on Russell, I'm forgetting his last name. No, Russell Foster, Foster Russell, one of them. I've forgotten which is the person. He has a whole TED Talk on sleep. Listen to Jeff Elf has a same talk on sleep. All of them will tell you what I'm telling you. We are all neurologists. I'm not making this. I mean, you're very powerful. Patrick, next question, please. Did I answer your question, ladies?
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next question, I read it out. Okay, I'll say, hello. My question is, are there homeopathic remedies for mental illness? And if so, how effective are they?
I have not dealt too much into homeopathy. And it's broad. Homeopathy is broad. There are interventions with aromatherapy, using scents. Some people it helps them ground them, it helps them relax, it helps them deal with stress, it helps them, yes. And for that, I'll say some works. But when it comes to really concussions and performance in there, which like I said, it works because those things are not well studied. You said Ghana, for concussions, the man for and it's schizophrenia type of symptoms. I don't know how it works. I seriously do not know. But I believe that it has a place in the healing, in the spectrum of health. It has a place. Basically, homeopathy is just using natural things to help you. So if you do your research, let me put it this way, if you do your research and you think it will, I base most of my stuff on prevention. Don't wait to get sick before you go and look for your. And if you are sick, then you're trying let me put it, when you get sick there, I will say really look at your interventions very carefully because mental health is so difficult to treat. Anytime you have an acute episode, for instance, if you are bipolar and your first onset is maybe at the age of 19, you recovered. If it comes back, if it took you maybe 4 months to recover, if it comes back, it is going to take you about 6 months or even 8 months to recover. Anytime you experience an acute episode, it takes way longer than for you to recover. That is why you have to take good care of yourself. If you experience one episode, please make drastic changes to change your lifestyle, to do things that will promote good health and will sustain you for a long time because anytime it comes back, it takes much longer. That is not to say mental health, you are done, you are doomed. There is nothing you can do. There are a couple of people who have shared experiences that have mental health issues and they are doing very well. And Oko, we TED Talker, there is a lady called Ellen Sykes. He has about 2 PhDs. There is another surgeon called, and he wrote about his experience in the book. He had really bad depression. He was hospitalized. That was how much depressed he was. He was given ECT, which actually is one of the most effective therapies. depression treatment, but usually we give it as a third line or so. He was given ECT. ECT means the electric shocks go through your brains. It helped him come back, and he was able to return to surgery and continue performing surgeries. So it is not all done. A lot of people have talked about music therapy, having people around them. So I hope I've answered the question. I do not know about homeopathic medications, the homeopathic preparations, but I believe there could be some that work, but you have to do your good research. Evidence on homeopathy in any field, anyway, a little bit scant.
Okay, thank you. Mepacha, the floor is open for questions.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll go ahead whilst we wait for people to formulate their questions. Okay, so my question, okay, so I know, say, counseling, right? Most counselors use cognitive behavior therapy to counsel. Is this something that works for mental health too?
Yes. And so cognitive behavioral therapy is one of the oldest tools that we use. There's a whole lot of tools. It just happens that cognitive behavior is one of the popular on CBT. Basically, in CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, we are looking at adjusting your behavior and mood based on your thinking. Because your thinking informs how you behave. Your thinking informs your mood. So if we can get into your mind and adjust the way, we cannot adjust it from outside. We search and research it. We can adjust your thinking from, but if we can help you make decisions and you think in a certain way, it will impact the way you behave and the way you. So a typical example, let me give for depression. There is something called ideational caging. You don't think outside the box. Your situation is so sad that there's nothing I can do about the situation. Without working with you on using cognitive behavioral therapy is to help you get out of that box thinking. To help you think out of the cage. Okay. Talking about suicide. Let me just give two things. Suicide. I sometimes so, and I sometimes reduce it to two things. One, hopelessness. Two, helplessness. The two things are hopelessness. My situation is so bad, there is nothing I can do about my situation. Helplessness. There's something that my situation is so bad, nobody can help me. When you have those two, it's very deep. Your chances of you carrying out suicide is very high. Usually, most people are hopeless, but they are not helpless. But when they get helpless and hopeless, it gets very dangerous. Substance use, you can talk about it. It's on and on and on and on. So CBT is a good tool. Usually, you might be trained to use it. The professionals know how to train it, how to do it with you, and it has a good results, really good results. It's one of the therapeutic tools. Let me put it that way. But for mental health, let me tell anybody here. I have worked with counselors, I have worked with psychologists, I have worked with one of the best tools that we have is empathy. And we spent a chunk of our time studying how to be empathetic. And let me explain what empathy is. Trying to put yourself in a person's shoes and understand. Most of them people don't understand people with mental health. What is wrong with you? So an empathetic statement will help me understand how this is going When you say, oh, what let the person have a voice. Active listening. Active listening, you say, why do Kasaro, Kasaro. All kinds of you sound a person, and the person is saying, and let them about. It is now say, you are allowing the person to express themselves. Sometimes people find the solution to their problem by just telling people about their problem. These are tools, these are therapeutic tools. Empathy, active listening, the use of silence. Sometimes you don't know how to keep quiet. There's no tool for silence. Okay, allow all those therapeutic tools to be used. These are tools that counselors and psychologists and others use. But if you read about it, you can do you can help yourself. I believe in a little bit of self-image because I'm against the professional. Now I said, I want everybody to be an expert. No. Still, if you need help, please somebody should correct me. Maybe it's different for Toronto. But if you need help in where area I live and you have a kid that you need a psychiatrist to see, you are waiting for at least 12 months. Tell me if you have malaria, maybe you take malaria. If you have diabetes, will you wait 12 months to see a professional for your health? Tell me if you have toothache, you can wait for a year before you go check it out with a dentist. I guess I'll say here or the other. Tell me which medical condition do you have to wait for 18 months to go and see a specialist who can help you, diagnose you, and give you. And if you're a psychiatrist, is just giving you medication. Very few psychiatrists are good at the medication. I'm giving you psychotropic medication. When it comes to psychotropic medication, any medication you use to change your mood and stuff like that. And you can do therapy. We talk about therapy, counseling, CBT, all those things. Very few people can do that. Usually we do psychiatrists for medication, counseling, so for therapy. And the counselor too, you must choose who you use for counseling, right? That person must have an idea of your culture, of sometimes because certain things do not interpret. I'll give the example of the core bank, financial analyst, and say, every 2 weeks, we use it, every COVID. I even want to be financially free. So I can have the COVID. So the example for only one giving, average giving, only one about the core average giving. Oh, you say it's my religion, also you have to stop giving money to your religion, something like that. You believe in that? They don't understand where you're coming from. That is how counseling too can play out if you do not carefully choose the person who counsels you or will go for therapy with. Yes. Activate this. Next question.
Okay, so the next question. Are all mental illness hereditary?
No. And even if this is my understanding and my belief after everything I've read. Even if you inherit it, it's the environment that makes its symptoms come up. Yes, and the environment is the use of substances, is the stress around you, it is the social determinants of health around you. You don't have good housing. If you are to Diana in the home, it is not good. The house, there's a difference between a home and a house. And I'm sure you get what I'm trying to say. Houses are beautiful. Home can be peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go to your home. You don't mind going to that house, but you don't call that your home. It is all those things that accumulate to give you. So, genetics crown, hormonal imbalance also can increase your risk of having mental issues. Some people are born with serotonin levels that are low or high, dopamine levels that are altered. No, we will all be born with several things. That is why we have to be intentional about our mental health. We have to be intentional about our mental health. Don't take it for granted. Carve out time to take care of your mental health. As I talk about carve out time, let me talk about this. Because somebody asked me at another meeting I did, what if you work, like people don't sleep during the week very well, they sleep maybe 3 days in a week, on that basis of 4 hours. That weekend will about 12 hours. The body feels the score. The damage you've done from the 3 hours, the 3 days of sleeping 4 hours, you cannot recover by sleeping weekend. That's one thing that sometimes we get wrong. Every moment, every holiday you don't take. Any week you do with minimal sleep and hope to catch up weekend, the damage is done. I'm not saying damage is done, so you cannot be no. But keep that in mind. And that is what I'm trying to say. Keep that in mind. So you cannot do that to yourself. Pace yourself. Pace yourself. Give yourself regular rest. Give yourself regular good sleep. Give yourself that way you need to have your mental health strong.
Okay.
Yes.
So next question. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So say if you know someone experiencing a depressive episode and they don't want to seek help themselves, can you call the cops on them if you fear they might harm themselves?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I'll say you can, but definitely until I send you. But usually when they come, when they hear, they will forgive you. You will feel bad about it, but they will. But you have to know how to call the cops, okay? You have to know how to call. The cops too are flooding. You better have hospitals right now. I think Toronto now more, what's the name of the place? Queens. And more another hospital with more downtown. Very big facility in global health here. Whatever the case is, when you call the police, the two things they are looking for is whether the person is harm to themselves or harm to others.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no harm to self or harm to others, they will not take any way serious action. So I'm giving you the tip. If you have a loud one, police, this is the verbiage you use. I think he is harm to himself. You are thinking, I think he is at harm to himself. And I anticipate he will be at harm to others if you do not do anything about it. They will act differently. And clearly identify. So he's never been violent. But his presentation currently, I have never seen him exhibit such presentation. I'm giving you a Obama Obia of you in the Athena hospital. Yes. When there is a risk to themselves and risk to others, the police can apply involuntary admission. Our big detainee back for I think 24 hours a 40 by depending on your province as well. And whilst the 24, 20, within the 24, 28 hours, they will assess or screen. Maybe they'll keep you there a little bit more, which will be a little bit frustrating for the person. But we are doing it in good faith. And it doesn't come on the police say police need to pattern a corner. Now on a record, so it doesn't go anywhere. Nobody can use that against you for job or for anything because the police are totally on the involuntary admission road. It is an involuntary admission road. That is it. This involuntary admission road for assessment. That is it. Nobody can use it against you. Does that answer the question? Let me add this. Usually it's difficult. People do not want to seek help because they feel the stigma and the biases. Now that we are talking about it, people do be open. Please, if you are not sure, just go and check yourself out. And people don't want to have that blame and say, and now always like a panel for checking. go and check yourself and have it. If you're not sure, just go to a family doctor before it gets so worse. People get worried and want to call the police on you. Why? And it's for your own good that they are calling the police. So if you come back from the hospital, please don't hold it against them. They were worried. Is that no power said and the police somehow? Because he's seeing what you are going through and he's worried about your health. So so please be kind to that person if you recover.
Okay. Thank you. Just to add a little bit to what you said, from experience, So if Obi was a episode and also was some many stage and also you find that person will be harmful to you or to yourself, the advice is not to play a hero. Stay away, because or Hental or Hamo in any way, whether anywhere, the person will be found not criminally responsible, because at that stage, the mind is not in the right mind. There's no way he's going to be charged for that crime. And don't play celebrate victim. So yours is to call the cops or to call the authorities, say he's harmful, and also wellness check, but stay away for your own protection. Okay, so a little way. Okay, so the next question, it says, I think so this will be our last question. I say, is a mother at risk of having mental issues when her child is going through developmental delays or going through marital challenges?
There's high stress. I don't know how mothers do it. And yeah, high stress. Having a kid with developmental needs is high stress. And if the couple is not together, if the two are not together, which usually in our Black communities, the couple are not together when it comes to managing kids with developmental disorders. There is high stress. Even, let me give a typical example. I'm trying to stay away from it. I'm one of my best friends. We went to primary school together, secondary school, university together, onto another province. And we had a child at only 25 weeks here, the whole of them. The kid was not supposed to walk, the kid was not supposed to talk, a whole lot of developmental issues. And I was asking him, as I say, my name is now very good teamwork. The kid is not working, the kid is talking, the kid is being amazing. That is when two heads come together. The results is amazing. The kids come to my house, the whole family come on holiday with me every year in summertime. So I've seen the boy come to my house when he crawled everywhere in my house. And when I was talking to the parents, say, if I am a holiday or baby, they usually cannot go for holiday anywhere because the be on the Kofi they don't like it. So then I make a change that the kid feels at home when it comes to it goes me by influence of voice culture and general. And when it comes, I spend a lot of time with him, and I was talking to the dad, the prince conversations they've had on the decisions that they had to do. My friend has a master's, he works in a logistics. He do more than a year newspaper on the phone, just because his current workplace will allow him to leave anytime to attend to his school. Sometimes work from home. These are the right decisions to make. He is not, you have to understand, he is not rich because he has a kid in developmental needs. And for the mom, I can tell you that when she comes here to my house and we are having chat, the mental load she's carrying, having a kid with development needs, is difficult. It's difficult. I'm trying not to talk about it too much, but I know everybody knows what I'm looking at or what I have on my hands. So, to my dear sister, Obaya, it is tough on you. I know and I acknowledge. Keep up with the good work.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for the pictures today. I saw your pictures. I saw them. And I love you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so you know, one last question to know. Say we'll try and wrap this as fast as we can. Okay, so I'll say, how can someone knows that she is mentally unstable by herself?
So mental illness is checking what is normal and what is your normal, what is your baseline. There is this book, I've forgotten the name of the author in full, guys, but something. Please Google it. It's called Your Body Keeps the Score. And Gabor Mate talks about it. Your body keeps the score always. One of the things that you do not do is know what are normal. So see, I believe the same what means that you are the same. Do your physical symptoms. But you will see, say, if you go to bed and you wake up and you don't feel rested, you know there's something not right. For me, it took me over 30 years to realize that certain type of rash on my forearm is an indication of stress. And in a mental illness, acute phase. Then I'm just confusing you a little bit, but and then mental health acute phase. So in who say and then mental illness now being say on doing that is not anhedonia, you are not interested in that depressive symptoms. Some are very subtle. Some are very subtle. So sometimes you have to go to, not sometimes, if you're not sure, go to a clinician, go to somebody who is trained to give you the diagnosis, because when we are giving you diagnosis is a clinical judgment. We are not just looking at the science, we are looking at the whole picture. And let's say all the signs of depression, so we are depressed. It's a clinical judgment. We are considering a whole lot of things before we arrive at the diagnosis. That is why certain disciplines cannot diagnose. And coming back to the question, what do you do when you have, can you pick up some symptoms of mental health? If you are in tune with yourself, you can pick it up. I have people who will tell me, I think my anxiety is coming. You know, when you have seizures, there is an aura, AURA. Obi by the message you say, Maria, in the next couple of hours, we will see you. You can feel it. Sometimes, things about the area, malaria, about the net, any malaria, brown, over the net, flu, you can feel it, we are having. That is how mental health too. If you are in tune with your brain and you have a mental disorder, you will know that I'm beginning to feel well, or I'm getting there. And that is why if we are close, you are good friends, they'll tell you, I don't think all is well, you have to check yourself out. Somebody who doesn't talk in a certain way starts talking in a certain way, they start swearing a lot. Swearing seems harmless, but this is not the person you know. There are behaviors. So mental health is behavior, mainly behavior, psychiatry is mainly behavior. So if you are seeing behaviors and mood that is not consistent, or that is not consistent with the personality of the person or something, please, everybody, check it out. Check it out. Be the support for that person. A Kofi will see you. Kofi will see you. If you are reading that, discussing to say, hey, I'm feeling well. I know for stress, and stress is a key factor in the oral health and mental health symptoms. So if you can know yourself, I hear there is Sifera, ancient philosopher who said, man made yourself. Know yourself. Know what keeps you alive. Know what makes you well.
Okay, thank you. I think so your time is up. And to know you better wrap on it up. Until you better wrap, you better draft floor no ama woman ministry leader, Ruth Buama, or a few words to say to Dr. Bonnie, to me patrol, to Nana me patrol. I'm gonna quick my end, you're wrapping it up.
First, the Yamiasi, oh dear, Nadum, what the Yaba Bidre. Bro, Kofi, Bonnie. I mean, papa. Toronto Ghanaian 7-day Adventist. I saw for any elders, any money na near memma. You see a dinyamidi, Edda was papa. Yeah, why no? You don't know why entiasi. Ombre, obetrasi, abechche near me, mwada ho kama ama nyina no se kasi ekutueska ka yentimi. Tidiye kanyina ne se nyame onhyira onyame nhyira no abusua nyina ne wahwere ye hu bia nyame nhyira wanem na wadwuma a woye no ma ne nkoso saa from obi ade ne yare ba wanim a nyame befa wo so amana nya na ho de ne na yaresa da wase bebre ma ne nyina si nyame onhyira nyame afa so ama yemso aye nhyira papa for 4 weeks Eniema yeshia no me agasa metewa na me dibi me busabisa me ho ne me bi me smitimi ka bi kire obi na me nsha bebre da asie nim se obi anso anyane chefa ewom ti de eka ne se nyame nsha o ensi he ye o ye besa atuensa afro biom da ache nti efrewa na odawo ma wasa adom ye biem na me nsha bebre ye da asie
one more thing about this one. I think Mama must start to something very good. Most other Adventist churches are then for us have contacted me in the last 3 weeks. All of them also have forward to say that. So, and this is what they said. You want what you did to turn the point. I want the same thing. I think I just look forward to coming again. I want to talk more about the church and their mental health. I'm healthy, aligning it, I'm trauma in the drugs and remember. So let's see what we can do with that first. And we can we up the thing really soon. And do what we take them around. We want them to be like, we want them to also take good care of us. Okay, let's give them all the tools they need to let them also, because the way programming and I'm back, we don't have a conversation. The way programming, money visa question. More would be other smarts material or two you wouldn't be well informed. But yeah, programming and my shooting enthusiasm for this program, I wouldn't be enthusiastic about this program or even about to do this into let muscle for the attention for in fact because the last 3 weeks have been very, very busy for me, but somehow I'm always around when I have to do this presentation. And the way that as much as we really one time of the keep the healthy relationship going. Yes, anti-ladies.